Hi YouTubers, this is Mark. I'm here with my Ford Econoline 4-wheel drive camper van conversion, and I wanted to give you an update on that. I hope you go back and check out some of my previous videos. Got a lot to look at there because I've almost completely rebuilt this thing, with the exception of the paneling you see and the vent fans. They were installed by a previous owner, but other than keeping his battery and modified sine wave inverter, which will work for now. If it gets to be a problem, I can replace it down the road. But that's some money saved if I keep it. But what I've got for you right now is my refrigerator, which I finally got it figured out. So I'm going to turn the camera around right now and show you what we got. So there's a refrigerator. Obviously, it's an Indelby Cruise 65 model. They make these for the big trucks, the big rig trucks. There is my replacement thermostat that I mounted on the front of this. Got a little bit of just strapping for hanging ductwork. Had some of that left over from a project, and that holds that on there. I did have to cut this metal down and then bend it down, but it fit quite nicely in there. It looks like it belongs, which is fine with me. Obviously, the facing isn't finished yet. I will have to finish that out and do that after I get the top on. Over here, well, this is what I finished yesterday, was running my amp. Somehow the settings on the amp got messed up. It took me all 2.5 days, basically, or 1.5 days to figure that out. But that's all there. Works. It does what it's supposed to do. Gives me good tunes. Thermostat, real easy here. This one actually has an on and off button. So if I press the reset, it'll turn it off. Press it again, turns it on. And the setting is real easy. It could be set to heat or cool, either way. There you go, you hear the fan coming back on. Inside, it's your basic, small, a little bit better than the average dorm refrigerator, but about that's what it is. I did want one with a freezer, so I could have some ice packs and ice, and maybe some, frozen ice cream treats or something like that. I can also freeze fish in it. So if I get some extra fish and want to keep it and freeze it, I can do that. Got the little light on. There's the probe from the thermostat coming through the hole that used to be the control knob mounting. And since I removed the old thermostat, it took me a while to figure that out. I had it working and then it stopped working. I'm like, wait a minute, it was working when I bought it, then it was giving me a problem, then it didn't want to work again, then I got it working, some WD-40 on the contacts and so forth. Everything looked fine, but obviously it was just wearing out. Cheap mechanical stuff. So electronics, if this one wears out or quits or goes bad on me for some reason, $17 and I can replace it. Easy peasy. Show you the wiring for it on the back. There you go. Power in. I've got orange wires for my because I happen to have them, but that's fine. The sensor, and then the power out, the relay. It shows the relay right here, so that's the switch. Power in here. Power goes around, jumps to this, and then goes out to the refrigerator. Anyway, very simple to set up. I bought another one similar to that that's supposed to be dual zone, that I think they screwed it up because they make dual zone, they make dual stage, and it did not program the way it was supposed to, but go figure that one out. So here's my fan that I added, little 12-volt style computer fan, sitting here blowing air across the compressor. And I don't know if you can see on the other side, you can see a little light over there. I do have a vent on the other side to allow that air to come out. Also, it's not quite tight here on this wall. I may slip a little piece of insulation in there to seal that up, to make sure all the air comes out over here, but I'm not sure that that's necessary. You know, getting the air out from underneath, out of this compartment, is what's important. The more hot air I can remove from this compartment, and if it turns out this thing is running too long or isn't running right, I can always add another fan. You can see the cutout over here for it. I had the cutout for a fan and ended up using this little plastic vent that I had bought instead. So that saves me the fan to use in another place. But eventually this will have insulation on it as well. And then sitting next to this is going to be a cabinet of drawers. And then just to give you a quick look around, there's my bed. Doesn't have the mattress on it yet. There's the cardboard that's my template for my TV, so I know where to mount it. It's going to mount right here. There's my subwoofer. It's not secured in yet. And there's my 110 volt circuit that's going to come over here. There's going to be a couple outlets right there on the wall. Once I get this finished, this cabinet over here finished off, be a couple outlets on the wall right there. So I can have the TV, I can maybe plug in a DVD player if I want, because I've got a lot of DVDs because I'm old, right? Electrical over here. I do have something, I might need to add a switch on the refrigerator somewhere to cut the power completely, because the light stays on in it. Even when the thermostat shuts off, when I shut it off with the thermostat, it doesn't cut power to the light, and which means if I leave the door open, the light's going to be on. I could just remove the light bulb, I suppose, but that's probably be better to add a switch over here. I got these, I picked up these nice labels. I don't know how well you can see that. Little stick-on labels, and you know, that's what they look like. So everything is nicely labeled, so I know what it is. For the most part. Got back there, that's my 110. There's my solar breakers, bus bars, positive, negative, positive, cutoff switches, heavy duty class T fuses, one for the inverter, one for the main battery connection. Down here I got my DC battery charger. Was just using that the other day while I was running this engine to work on the stereo, because the stereo is set up so it cuts the amp out when the engine shuts off, so you don't drain the battery. Over here is my, and this one was working fine. It charged this thing up real quick. AC DC charger. That's hooked up to the shore power. That's over there. You can see in the back, one of those is the charger. One of those is my 20 amp circuit. And down here is my dedicated receptacle for the 15 amp for the charger. Coming around this way, I got a little fan here. I was going to add another fan down below because those chargers down here, especially the AC charger, it kicks out a bunch of heat. I'm gonna have to see what goes on with that. I might end up adding a fan down here, which is why I got the dual stage controller. Up here I got a fan, little power button comes on, blows air nicely, press it off. These are the little tiny buttons that you can have them lit up all the time or just when the power's on. Obviously I have it just so the power's on. My light switches in my camper, goes for the LED lights. Whoop, whoop. Solar controller, only getting 13 because I'm under a bunch of trees here, and I discovered that if you're not getting full direct sun on your panels, you're not going to charge at a higher voltage. I'm getting right now with my solar, let's see, I'm using 3.8 amps, drawing 3.8 amps. That's with the refrigerator running, the compressor on the refrigerator, and these lights. If I turn the lights off, it drops down to 2.6. So the lights are using 1.2. Solar charger is drawing some, obviously. I may not be getting a positive charge out of that at all. All right. And my battery monitor, well, I was just showing you that. Let's see, got a bad angle on it with the light. 97% battery. I'm using 50 watts. I've got 26 hours left at this usage. There's my LP gas and CO2 alarm detector. It's running. And do not paint. Okay. Just testing my Dewalt Charger. That's a pretty high-speed charger. It'll charge a 5 amp hour battery pretty quick. There's the end of the other cord that was over there that's not hooked up yet, is just sitting here. Basically, it's an extension cord. It's a very heavy-duty 10 gauge, 120 volt extension cord. This is 20 amp. Goes in here. That's 20 amps. Shore power. So if I'm plugged in at a campground, I plug it in here. And I've got power to run my TV, and if I want a microwave, a blender, a coffee maker, anything like that, I can do it. And if I'm not plugged in there, I'm over here, but these are only 15 amp and this is 20 amp. This has got the little sideways blade, so somewhere I've got a little dog bone that I made out of, I had a little extra. Always make sure you got a little extra when you measure your runs, especially when you're buying cable that costs, $5, $6, $7, $8 a foot, like some of this heavy duty cable. This and the 2-aught battery cables in there, that's expensive stuff. You don't want to cut them short. So always make sure you have a little bit of extra. And so I have a dog bone over here with a 20 amp receptacle on one side, or female plug on one side, and a 15 amp one on the other side, but it'll only be drawing the 15 amps out of here anyway, so that doesn't matter. Having 20 amps and 10 gauge doesn't hurt at all, because I'm not going to have 20 amps flowing through it, only going to have 15. Anyhow, I've run awfully long here. I apologize for that. I get talking and I just forget about the time. So I'm going to sign off now. I hope this helped anybody who's doing a project like this, and feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, all this stuff. Anyway, thanks again for watching.